Hi class. Tonight our lesson is on division using the standard algorithm. This is not found in SWUN. This is the method that if you need help at home, your parents will know the standard algorithm. Our learning objective is tonight I will divide using the standard algorithm. So by the end of this lesson, you should have a basic understanding of the standard algorithm and how to divide. We're going to start with some vocabulary. We used this vocabulary in our last division lesson. The 10, or the first number in our division expression, is our dividend. The number that comes first is the dividend. Then you have your division sign, and it's divided by the divisor. And then your answer to a division problem is called a quotient. These are words that you will start to get familiar with by the end of the year, but quotient belongs with division. Something new for division, when you see a division expression written like this, you're going to see in and out. And in and out is going to help you a lot in 5th grade. So get used to the dividend being in, the divider being out. And we're going to see that right here. We don't have our division sign, so you need to make your division sign. The divisor is on the outside. And the dividend, remember it sounds like in when you have dividend, is on the inside, and your quotient would go right there. We're going to now go on to notes. When we're solving division problems, we're going to use DMSB. And you're going to hear me say, are you using daddy, mommy, sister, brother? That's DMSB. So we have daddy, mommy, sister, and brother. Division is a family. So daddy is division, mommy is multiplication, sister is subtraction, and brother is bring down. Okay, we're going to be using daddy, mommy, sister, brother, and you're going to get really familiar with that this year. Steps. Our first step is to set up our problem using our division sign. Now I just want to clarify, this is the division sign. If you have a little check mark, you guys probably have seen that. That's actually a square root, not a division sign. So we're not going to set it up with a little check. We have to have it straight. You're going to write the dividend. Remember, dividend, in. We're going to set it up on the inside. And the divisor is going to go on the outside. Next, you're going to write daddy, mommy, sister, brother, DMSB. And then step number 3, you're going to divide. You're going to ask yourself, what number can work without going over? You're going to estimate. As you do this, you're going to underline the dividend. And then you're going to write the number on top of the correct digit. This step is super duperly important. Write it on top of the correct digit. You need to get super neat when you're doing your math. Because if you get sloppy and it's not on top of the correct digit, you're going to get confused. Step number 4 is you're going to multiply. You're going to write the answer below. Then you're going to subtract. Step number 6 is you're going to bring down. Use an arrow to bring down one digit. Only bring one digit down at a time. And finally, step number 7 is you're going to continue with each digit of the dividend has a number on top of it. Okay, I have my steps. I'm going to keep my steps out, and I'm going to get out my red pen, and you guys are going to just follow along and watch. You don't need to take notes. So my problem is 1,236 divided by 6. So I need to set up the problem, which I did. I have my straight lines. I don't have that check mark. I wrote the dividend inside, and I wrote the divider outside. Now I need to do step 2. Write daddy, mommy, sister, brother. Now I need to divide. Estimate what number can work without going over. I'm not going to estimate this whole number. I'm going to underline the dividend, and I'm going to ask myself, can 6 go into 1? No. Can 6 go into 12? Yes. So I know that 6 times 2 is 12. So I'm going to put the 2 right above the digit that I ended with. So it wasn't above the 1, but it was actually above the 12. So I have to put my 2 above the 12. Now I need to multiply. Step 4 is multiply. So I'm going to multiply 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. I'm writing that number below. So I multiplied, I wrote my answer below. Now I need to do the next step, which says subtract. So 12 minus 12 equals to 0. Next, bring down using an arrow. Bring down 1 digit. So I'm going to bring down my 3. Now, I'm going to continue that same process, steps 3 through 6. And instead of me referring back to it, I'm going to refer to my daddy, mommy, sister, brother over here. So I'm going to divide 6. 6 can go into 3 how many times? Oh, it actually can't. So I'm going to put a 0. If it can't, it goes in 0 times. Now I multiply 0, whatever number that I just wrote up there is what I'm multiplying. 0 times 6 equals to 0. So I multiplied. Now I need to subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. Now I need to bring down. So I bring down the 6. I still need to continue dividing. So I'm going to divide. 6 goes into 36 how many times? It goes in 6 times. Now I need to multiply the digit that I just wrote up there. 6 times 6 is 36. Now I need to subtract. 36 minus 36 is 0. And if you notice, bring down, there's nothing left to bring down, so I'm just making sure that there's nothing. I put my final dot. If I end here at 0, I know that there's nothing more to do. So 1,236 divided by 6 equals to 206. Remember, our quotient is written above. Okay, we're going to try one more. Set up the problem. So ours is 4,648 divided by 8. So step 1 is set up the problem. When we set up the problem, the dividend needs to be inside and the divider needs to be outside. Remember, this is where in and out is going to help you. In, this is the dividend, it needs to go inside. So I have 4,648 on the inside, and I have 8 on the outside. Step number 2, write daddy, mommy, sister, brother. Daddy, mommy, sister, brother. Now I'm going to divide, and I'm going to estimate what can work without going over. And remember, I'm going to underline, and I'm going to write the digit on top of the correct digit. So 8 goes into 4, how many times? It doesn't. 8 goes into 46, how many times? I'm dividing right now. It goes in 5 times. Now I need to multiply, or step 4, and write the answer below. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 5, and I get 40. Next step is to subtract. So I'm going to do 46 minus 40, and I get 6. Step 6 says bring down using an arrow. Bring down 1 digit. So I'm going to bring down that 4. Now I start the whole process over again. I need to divide. I need to ask myself, how many 8s can fit into 64? I know 8 times 8 is 64, so 8 times can go into 64. 8 times 8 is 64. So now I multiplied. Next step is to subtract. 64 minus 64 is 0. I need to bring down. I bring down that 8. And now I start the process all over again. I divide. I ask myself, how many 8s can fit into 8? 1 8 can fit into 8. Now I need to multiply. 1 times 8 equals to 8. Now I need to subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. Now I need to bring down. There's nothing more right here to bring down. I have a 0. I am all done. So 4,648 divided by 8 equals to 581. Okay, I'm going to get out my green pen. You are getting out your green pen, and you are following along. Okay, we're doing our guided practice. I don't know why there's a 9 above there, so let's just ignore that 9. Step number 1, set up the problem. So let's write our in and our out. Okay, write the dividend inside. So I'm going to write 2,248 inside, 4 on the outside. Step 2, write daddy, mommy, sister, brother. Divide. What number can go into 2? 4 goes into 2 how many times? We don't know that. What about 4 into 22? We know 5 times 4 is 20. So I'm going to put 5 on the top, and now I'm going to multiply. 4 times 5 equals to 20. Notice that I wrote the 5 on top of the 22 because that's where I divided. Okay, so I didn't write it over here above this 2. I wrote it above 22. Now, step 5 says I need to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 22 minus 20, and I get 2. Next step, bring down using an arrow. Only do 1 digit, so I'm going to bring down that 4. 4 goes into 24 6 times, so I put the 6 above the 4. Now I need to multiply. 6 times 4 is 24. I need to subtract. 24 minus 24 is 0. And then I need to bring down. I'm bringing down that 8. And I start the whole process over again. I divide. 4 goes into 8 how many times? 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. So I multiplied. Now I need to subtract. 8 minus 8 is 0. Now I need to bring down. There's nothing left to bring down. I ended with a 0. So my answer is 562. Okay, we have one more problem. Question 2 was not given our division sign, so make sure you add that division sign. So we set up the problem. Problem's already set up. Let's just use it like that. Now let's use daddy, mommy. Actually, my handwriting is not going to get that small. Let's write it so that our numbers can get lined up perfectly. And I'm going to write daddy, mommy, sister, brother on this side this time. Okay, step number 3 is divide. We're going to use underlines. Sorry, you can't see that. And then we're going to write the correct number over the digit. So 4 goes into 5. How many times? 1. 1 times 4, because now I'm multiplying, is 4. Next step is to subtract. So I subtract 5 minus 4, and I get 1. Now I need to bring down. I'm going to bring down that 8. And now I start over again. 4 goes into 18 4 times, so I write the 4 above the 8. 4 times 4 is 16, so I write the 16 down below. I've multiplied. Now I need to subtract. 18 minus 16 is 2. Next step, B, bring down. So I'm going to bring down that 8. 4 goes into 28 7 times. So I'm going to put the 7 above. 7 times 4. Oh, I divided without telling you. Sorry. Now I multiplied. 7 times 4 is 28. Now I'm subtracting. 28 minus 28 is 0. And now I need to bring down. I'm going to bring down that 0. And now I need to divide. 4 goes into 0 how many times? 0. And this is very important that we wrote our correct, the digits on top of the correct number. I started with 4 divided by 5, and there it went in 1 time, so make sure that there's a 1 above the 5. So each digit has to have 1 above it now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget this extra 0 because we still had to divide that 0. So let's go through that process. 4 goes into 0 how many times? 0. Now I need to multiply. 4 times 0 is 0. I subtract and I get 0. Okay. We have 2 homework problems, and then you're going to rate your understanding. Hope you have a wonderful evening.